Hey, what's up? Michael Rosado here of Integer Network. And today, very quickly, I want to encourage you, if you're an individual that wants to shift or change your organization's culture, here's how to do it around healthy relationships. Yes, I said healthy relationships. Could you possibly do it just on authority alone? Maybe. But I think the reason that you have that authority is because of relationships. In order to shift it properly, I fully believe that your leadership needs buy-in. People need to buy into the leader. Actually, I always say this, that people need to buy into the leader before they ever buy into the vision or culture of your organization. So if you want to shift it, if you have a new vision, okay, it has to be through the eyes of relationship, okay? So let's talk about the level of your leadership within relationships and how to maintain a healthy relationship with those around you, those you are leading, those who have given their lives to follow the vision that you have, okay? It has to be through proper and healthy relationships. So a couple questions just to dissect your leadership within these relationships. Number one, is there anything about your leadership that is unapproachable? Is there anything about your leadership that is unapproachable, meaning that they can't come to you and talk to you about certain things? Are there moments, all right? Are you a kind of person that you walk in and you just look like you don't want to talk to anyone until you've completed your first cup of coffee, right? Is there anything about your leadership that is unapproachable? Another way to ask that is, are there any moments where you're more unapproachable than others, right? So you can say, well, in general, I'm an approachable person, but are there moments where you are unapproachable? I think that's hugely important to dissect that within your leadership in order to instigate proper, healthy relationships with your team. Second question that I have, are there any topics you feel are taboo in your organization? Okay, are there any topics that are taboo in your organization? So this is the first one is about, are you unapproachable? But are there any unapproachable topics? Are there things that people can't tell you? Are there things that people can't speak into? For you to be aware of those things, because they are there. Don't pretend like they're not there. They are there. What are the taboo areas? And for you to describe to your team, okay, hey, listen, I invite you to speak into these areas, okay? And if you don't invite them, at least say that, all right? Don't let it just be taboo. Don't let it be unspoken. Say, hey, I invite you to speak into all these areas, but these areas are no-fly zones. That's fine. At least you're establishing clarity and trust within your organization. And the third question that I have just to challenge you today, what's the one thing, all right, what's the one thing that you could continue to do to create the best environment for your team? Ask your team that question. If you're bold enough, if you're humble enough, hey, ask your team, what's the one thing that I could focus on every single time to make sure that you have the best work environment ever? And continue doing that. Invest in that area, right? Because if you're going to make a change, you're making a withdrawal in your organization, and you better make sure that you have made some previous deposits in order to make that big withdrawal. So you can change your culture, you can shift your organization, but it revolves and evolves around healthy relationships.